Greetings, everyone. I wanted to talk to you today about a common misconception that I've been hearing for years and years. And just a quick update. I am about two chapters away from completing my book, Millionaire Savings Plan, and it will be published on Amazon through Kindle as well as paperback. And what I talk about in the book is very similar to what I'm going to be talking about as far as this misconception. And the common misconception is you cannot get rich from working a job, whether it be self-employment or a regular W-2 employee. Now, it is not 100% inaccurate. Most people, low income earners, will not be able to necessarily get wealthy or rich from working a job. If you make, I would say, less than $100,000, you, depending on your cost of living and where you live, you will be chasing your basically like a dog chasing his own tail. Like, for example, if you make $100,000 in the Midwest, you could live pretty comfortably. Whereas if you live on the East Coast, like for example New York or West Coast, Los Angeles area, and you make $100,000, you could still live a life, but you could live a better life in the Midwest versus those two parts of the country. Now, with that being said, as far as getting wealthy from a job, you can get wealthy from a job. I mean that is something that a lot of people have gotten wealthy from. Actually, that's the starting point from where people actually get wealthy in most cases, because unless you get a business loan to start your business, most people transition from job to business, and they use the money from their job, sort of maybe a 401k, a pension, or just savings to start a business, to launch a business. They're still leaving their job to actually start a business, but it's some people, a very small few people, that actually make over $100,000 a year. That percentage is less than 10% that makes actually over $100,000. You have surgeons. You have also executives. If you work for, let's say, a brokerage company where you make a percentage off of the net profits that you gain for your company, and you make commissions off of those, off of the trades that you make for your particular company that you work for. You have some people that make well over $100,000, if not $500,000 or more a year, as being, for example, a financial analyst or basically a trader. Okay, you have lawyers. Some lawyers are making. I've known a lawyer that made over, if not close to, $500,000 a year, and I don't even think they were even a partner of their firm that they worked at. Okay, if they became partner, they would probably be close to the $1 million range, and they're just a lawyer. Okay, for working for a firm. I mean, that's a small percentage of people, yes, but these said people are considered in the top 10%, even in some cases 1 percentile of wealthiest people. Because I mean, yeah, if you do the math, I mean, pretty much if you make $500,000 a year, every 2 years you're making $1 million on paper. Of course, after taxes, after expenses, so on and so forth. Yes, you might not necessarily have $1 million, but your path to actually being a millionaire is a lot easier and quicker than even a lot of people that have small businesses as well as businesses. Because on average, if you just have a small business, let's say a laundromat or cleaners or a small little, I don't know, retail shop, a lot of people, as well as even when I was in small business, they make less than they would make in a particular job that they used to work, or might not even make even minimum wage, but they have actual business. They're self-employed, meaning they have a business. It's small. They might have to be the accountant. They might, they don't even have any staff. It's just them. They have to do everything. They have to be the accountant, the cashier, the janitor, the bookkeeper, pretty much everything rolled into one. And that's small business. Even some businesses, they probably on average probably make over $100,000 or less than $100,000, shall I say. And that's still less than a typical surgeon. Even some truck drivers make $100,000 by basically being an owner operator. And I mean, it's pretty much certain professions like a software developer, a network engineer can make well over, if not close to, $100,000 a year. And with the right amount of knowledge or just side businesses, you could make well over $1 million over time faster than someone that just has a business, because you can use that said capital to actually open up a franchise and make a lateral move, and you can still work your job, but you still have employees. I know a lot of people that do that. A lot of people, they work and then they still day trade or swing trade while they're at work. The key is they still have their job, their day job, and they per se work outside of their job. And then you have some that's all they do is their job. A surgeon typically, he's on call, he's working nonstop. Yeah, you have to go to school for a long period of time. You have to pay a lot of money in tuition and probably get saddled with student loan debt. But a surgeon could make well over $300,000-$400,000 a year. Okay, an engineer, the same. If you look up the top professions, from I think starting from actually being a hedge fund manager. A hedge fund manager is still an employee, and typically a hedge fund manager is, if not already a billionaire, pretty much as high as a billionaire, at the very low end, multi-millionaire, and he's an employee, down to like I said, a truck driver that has his own truck, or might even have a few trucks. It's a guy. I don't know his name, but he's on YouTube and he has a couple trucks, and he makes millions of dollars by basically being an owner operator and having just a fleet of trucks. He doesn't have a company as big as JP Hunt, but he just has a few trucks, and he's pretty much grosses $1 million in his business from basically having just a few set of trucks. So I mean, it's like that. I mean that is per se a business. He is a business owner in that case. But I'm just saying that you can actually you can start off from a job and make a lateral move to a business very easily than someone that just basically just starts a business from scratch. And then you have some people that, they pretty much their actual job, they make a lot of money. A lot of not politicians, but lobbyists make hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars a year. It's a lot of professions that make more than the average business owner. So, I mean, basically, in short, that is not 100% accurate to say that if you have a business, if you are working a job, you're not gonna get rich. It depends on the job you're working, the cost of living that where you live, and basically a lot of factors. But you can absolutely get rich from working a job. Is an example of a guy, older guy, that he still to this day, as far as I know, he might be retired now, but he pretty much works as a parking guy, basically at a parking lot, makes like $15 an hour, but he's been trading stocks and bonds and options for like 20-30 years because a lot of people probably know about this guy and this story. He got a lot of advice from the employees that worked at the basically the financial firm in the parking lot where he worked. So he took that knowledge, took his hard-earned money and rolled it into the stock market. That guy, he was able to amass over $500,000 over a 20 to 30 year period just working as a freaking parking attendant. Okay, he used because you could use basically your money as leverage. Okay, I don't care if you picking up bottles or working at McDonald's. It depends on what you want to do with your life. If you use your money that you make for leverage, nothing can stop you. And that is not absolutely accurate. If you work at a parking lot, McDonald's, even if you work as a security guard, any low-wage job, and you just do that and you don't do nothing else, yes, you are going to be chasing your tail. You are not going to get rich from that job. But if you leverage yourself, you can use a job to actually get rich. And you don't necessarily even have to start a business by doing it. So it's at the very least, you will in a sense be self-employed, because if you trade stocks, you do have to file a W-9 that you've made capital gains. In a sense, you are a business owner at that point, as you're filing employment tax with the W-9. Even a woman that has an OnlyFans account, she has to file a W-9 at the end of the year for all of the compensation that she received. But that being said, it's a double-edged. It's a gray area in that statement, saying that you cannot be rich from working a job. That is not 100% accurate. You got some people that, like I said, that's all they do is work their job, and they're millionaires. People that work for hedge funds, work for financial brokerage firms. Some of those people are millionaires and they show up to work every day. Prime example is fictitious, but it is truth in it. The show Billions off of Showtime shows exactly what kind of accurate portrayal of what goes on being a financial analyst, being a trader in a hedge fund, and how much they make. Okay, so that's not 100% true on that. So that's my take on that, and you guys have a wonderful day.